Welcome to What the Dead Man Say, Whispers from the Grave, the podcast where we delve into the mysterious, the unknown, and the supernatural. I'm your host, and in today's episode, we'll be taking a chilling journey through some of the most infamous ghost hauntings in the UK. There's something about these tales that grab hold of our imagination, the combination of eerie legends and the rich history of these ancient places. Our first destination is the legendary Tower of London. This iconic fortress, known for its grandeur and dark past, has a rich history dating back nearly 1,000 years. Not only has it served as a royal palace and prison, but it is also home to many lingering spirits. We'll explore the stories that make this landmark one of the most haunted places in the country. Lend me your ear, and together we will uncover the secrets hidden within these ancient walls. The Tower of London, built by William the Conqueror in 1078, has served as a royal palace, a fortress, and most notoriously, a prison. Over its nearly 1,000-year history, it has seen the imprisonment, torture, and execution of countless souls, many of whom are said to still linger within its ancient walls. Today, we'll explore its ghostly legends, starting with the ominous Traitor's Gate. Traitor's Gate, an imposing water gate at the Tower of London, was the entry point for many prisoners accused of treason. It earned its name because of the many high-profile prisoners, including queens and noblemen, who passed through it on their way to imprisonment, and often execution, within the tower. Now imagine being one of those prisoners taken in the dead of night under the cover of darkness along the cold and misty waters of the Thames. As the boat moves slowly through the fog, you hear the gentle lapping of water against the wood, a sound that grows eerily quiet as the tower comes into view. Its stone walls loom larger and more oppressive with each passing moment. You pass under the massive creaking portcullis of Traitor's Gate, the weight of the tower's infamous history pressing down on you. Almost as if you can feel the eyes of past prisoners watching. It's said that many of those unfortunate souls who pass through this gate still linger, unable to leave behind the dread they felt in those final moments. Visitors have claimed to hear the splash of oars, the soft murmurs of invisible prisoners, and even seen shadowy figures that vanish as quickly as they appear. Among the most famous ghosts of the tower is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. After failing to produce a male heir, she was accused of adultery, incest and treason. Anne was executed in 1536, and her ghost is said to haunt several areas of the tower, including Traitor's Gate. What makes the sighting of Anne Boleyn so terrifying is the way she appears. Witnesses have described seeing her headless figure wandering the grounds, or gliding silently, clutching her head in her hands. The chapel of St. Peter ad Vincula, where Anne is buried, is another hotspot for her spectral appearances. Guards have reported feeling an icy chill and hearing faint whispers when alone in the chapel at night. Interestingly, some visitors have claimed to see Anne Boleyn attending her own execution. These accounts often describe a sombre, dignified woman in a Tudor gown, observing the grisly scene with a sad knowing expression. Her presence carries an undeniable sadness, as if she is trapped in an endless loop, reliving the tragic end she met here in the tower. The tragic tale of the princes in the tower is another haunting story tied to the Tower of London. In 1483, the young King Edward V and his brother Richard were lodged in the tower by their uncle Richard, Duke of Gloucester, who later declared himself King Richard III. The boys disappeared, and it's widely believed they were murdered to secure Richard's claim to the throne. The ghosts of the two princes are said to haunt the Bloody Tower, where they were last seen centuries ago. These two young boys, dressed in white nightgowns, have been spotted by many visitors, holding hands, their faces filled with sorrow and uncertainty. Their presence is often accompanied by a feeling of intense sadness, as if the air grows heavy with grief. One can't help but feel the weight of their tragic fate. One particularly haunting account describes a night watchman who claimed to see the two boys playing on the Tower Green, only to vanish as he approached, leaving only a cold breeze and the lingering sense of loss. In addition to its human spirits, the Tower of London is also said to be haunted by an unusual and terrifying apparition, a ghostly bear. For over 600 years, the tower housed a royal menagerie filled with exotic animals gifted to the monarchy from all corners of the globe. One chilling story from 1816 tells of a sentry who encountered a massive spectral bear near the Martin Tower. As the bear charged at him, he instinctively thrust his bayonet forward, only to watch in horror as it passed right through the apparition. The shock of that encounter was so intense that the sentry later died from fright. This haunting highlights not just the tower's grim past as a prison, but also its history as a place where wild and dangerous creatures were once kept. The ghostly bear adds an unusual and eerie twist to the legends that surround this storied fortress. Now we turn to Sir Walter Raleigh, the famed explorer and courtier who spent many years imprisoned in the Tower of London. Confined in the Bloody Tower, he eventually met his end by beheading in 1618. Today, Raleigh's ghost is said to haunt the tower, particularly around the Bloody Tower and the gardens where he was allowed to exercise. Visitors have reported seeing a shadowy figure dressed in Elizabethan clothing, often accompanied by the scent of pipe tobacco, a reminder of Raleigh's fondness for the smoke. His spirit often appears deep in thought, as if reflecting on the lost opportunities and the dramatic fall from grace he had experienced. One of the more terrifying ghosts said to haunt the Tower of London is that of a phantom executioner. This spirit is believed to be the ghost of one of the many executioners who carried out their grim duties within the tower's walls. Witnesses have reported seeing a shadowy figure dressed in black with an axe slung over his shoulder. This ghost is often seen near the site of the scaffold on Tower Green, where countless prisoners met their end. The presence of the phantom executioner adds a chilling atmosphere to the tower, as visitors sometimes feel a sudden drop in temperature and an overwhelming sense of dread when near the site. Some have reported hearing the faint sound of an axe striking the ground, followed by an eerie silence that sends shivers down the spine. This spectral figure serves as a grim reminder of the tower's bloody history and the many lives lost to the Crown's harsh justice. The executioner's spirit lingers as a haunting spectre, compelling those who enter to reflect on the darker side of England's royal legacy. The Chapel Royal of St. Peter ad Vincula, where many of the tower's executed prisoners are buried, is said to be haunted by ghostly music. Late at night, the mournful sound of an organ playing can sometimes be heard, echoing through the chapel. This ghostly music is believed to be the work of the spirit of a former chapel organist, who remains devoted to his craft, even in death. Though the music is beautiful, it carries a haunting quality, as if the organist is mourning the souls buried beneath the chapel's floor. The eerie otherworldly notes contribute to the already sombre atmosphere, making it one of the most spiritually charged locations within the tower. The Tower of London is also home to the ghost of a monk. It is often seen near the tower's ancient chapel. This monk is believed to be the spirit of a former chaplain, executed for treason. His ghost is frequently spotted in silent prayer, his face hidden beneath a hood. His presence often brings a sense of peace, though some visitors have reported a sudden chill in the air when he appears. The sight of this silent, solitary figure serves as a reminder of the religious turmoil that gripped England during the Reformation, and the many lives lost in the name of faith. Lady Jane Grey, known as the 9 Days Queen, met a tragic and untimely end. Her reign was brief, but her legacy is one that endures, even beyond death. Her ghost is said to haunt the battlements of the Tower, particularly near the very place where she was executed. Witnesses have reported seeing a pale figure, dressed in white, her face a mask of sorrow. Slowly wandering the grounds, her spirit seemingly lost in time. Some say that on the anniversary of her execution, the sightings become more frequent, as if she's drawn back to the scene of her death each year. The White Tower is the oldest part of this complex, known for its impressive collection of medieval armour. But it's not just the armour that attracts attention. There have been numerous reports of a ghostly figure in full armour wandering through its halls. Some say the clanking of metal, the sound of heavy footsteps, can be heard echoing throughout the night. The ghost is believed to be the spirit of Sir Thomas Becket, who met his end in Canterbury Cathedral back in 1170. Becket, known for his opposition to King Henry II's policies, seems to return to the Tower, a place where he spent part of his turbulent life. The image of a knight in spectral armour adds to the chilling atmosphere of the White Tower, making it a focal point for ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike. The yeoman warders, or beefeaters, have served as the ceremonial guards of the tower for centuries. But did you know that some of these guards never truly left? Several ghosts of former yeoman warders are said to haunt the tower, particularly around the Beauchamp Tower. These ghostly warders are often seen performing their duties, oblivious to the passage of time. Their presence is sometimes felt by the living guards, who report unexplained cold spots and the sound of footsteps when no one is there. The spirits of these loyal guardsmen seem to remain forever bound to the tower, continuing their watch over the fortress, even in death. And let's not forget the famous ravens of the Tower of London. Legend has it that if the ravens ever leave the tower, the kingdom will fall. To prevent this, the tower keeps a careful watch on these birds, ensuring that at least 6 remain at all times. The ravens are said to possess a certain intelligence, and some visitors claim to have seen them interacting with the ghosts that haunt the tower. It is believed they act as guardians of the tower, witnessing the many tragedies that have unfolded there throughout history. Their presence adds another level of intrigue and a sense of the supernatural that permeates this iconic fortress. The Tower of London is steeped in a rich tapestry of history, betrayal and tragedy, making it one of the most haunted locations in the UK. From the anguished cries of Anne Boleyn to the spectral bear prowling the grounds, these tales of the supernatural remind us that history often echoes through the ages. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the stories of the Tower's ghosts serve as a chilling reminder of its past and the lives that were forever changed within its walls. If you find yourself in London, the Tower awaits, with its haunted history and spectral residents ready to share their stories. Thank you for joining me on this chilling journey into the haunted history of the Tower of London. Until next time, stay curious and listen closely for the whispers from the grave.